Hello, students. Welcome to our first review section. So we will start reviewing from the chapter 1. So actually, I select a few problems from the textbook. So we're going to talk about these problems, and you are able to find these problems in the exercises of the chapter 1. Okay, the first problem is the problem 81. It needs you to develop a model of equations and solve these variables. So problem 81, the owner of a store sells raisins for $3.2 per pound and nuts for $2.4 per pound. He decides to mix the raisins and nuts and sell 50 pounds of the mixture for $2.72 per pound. What quantities of raisins and nuts should he use? So in this problem statement, they ask us two quantities. One is the pounds of raisins, and another one is the weight of nuts. So we could assume that the raisins he should use X pounds of raisin, and nuts he should use Y pounds of nuts. Okay, and he wants to sell 50 pounds of the mixture. So which means the pounds of raisins plus the pounds of nuts should be 50 pounds. Okay, so this is our first equation. So, but how about the second one? So, since he prepared X pounds of raisins, and each pound of raisins costs $3.2, and he prepared Y pounds of nuts, and each pound of nuts is $2.4. So the amount for the dollar, so the raisin cost, so this is cost, X times, I use this X times 32. This is how much raisins cost. And nuts is how much nuts cost, since he prepared Y pounds of nuts, and each pound of nuts cost $2.4 per pound. And for the mixture, so in total, so the cost of raisins plus the cost of nuts should be what? Should be 50. This is the mixture, total weight of mixture times 2.72 times $2.72 per pound for the mixture. So the cost of raisin and nuts equals the cost of the mixture. So this is the cost of mixture. And these two, the sum of these two is the cost of raisin and nuts. So the cost must be equal. So we have another equation, which is 3.2x plus, my bad, we need to switch back. 3.2x plus 2.4y. 2.4y equals 50 times 2.72. So So we are able to, so suppose this is equation 1, and this is equation 2. My bad, it's something, okay, should be better. So this is equation 2. So we could have equation 1 multiplied by 2.4. This is 2.4. It becomes 2.4x plus 2.4y equals, I don't know why it doesn't, equals 50 times 2.4, which is 120. And this 50 times 2.72, this is 136. So we have equation 2 and equation 3. Oh, wait. So unstable. Okay, so we have these two equations, and we could use the equation 2 minus equation 1, equation 3. So 2 minus 3. So 2 minus 3 is 3.2 minus 2.6 is 0.8, right? So we have 0.8x, 0.8x, and y is 0 because 2.4 cancels 2.4y. So 0.8x equals 16. And we know x is 20. I don't know, it's switching back all the time. Okay, and since x equals 20, and from equation 1, 20 plus y equals 50. So, my bad, this is a little bit weird. So, we know y equals 50 minus 20 equals 30. So weird. Okay, so 20 is the pounds of raisins. Okay, this is raisins. And 30 is the weight of nuts. Which is our solution. Okay. Any questions regarding this? And so the point is, depends on the problem statement, and then we could assign our variables, okay? And then we try to develop models of equations from the problem statement. So this is what we have. This is the answer of problem 81. Okay. All right. For the next questions, it's problem 83. A woman cycles 8 miles per hour faster than she runs. Every morning, she cycles 4 miles and runs 2.5 miles for a total of 1 hour of exercise. How fast does she run? So you are given a question here. So the easiest way is we just assume she runs X mile per hour. So I assume she runs X mile per hour. So since the problem says she cycles 8 miles per hour faster than she runs, so which means she cycles X plus 8 mile per hour. Okay, so every morning she cycles 4 miles. So how long does it take? So if she cycles 4 miles, and then the speed of speed of the cycles is x plus 8 mile per hour. So the total time for cycling is 4 divided by x plus 8, right? And she also runs 2.5 miles. So 2.5 miles, and she runs. So divided by the speed of running. And the total time will be an hour, should be 1. Okay? And then we solve this equation, and then we can find x. So how can we solve this equation? We multiply both sides of the equation by the common denominator. So common denominator is x times x plus 8. So if we multiply by x times x plus 8, we have 4x plus 2.5 x plus 8, and this is x times x plus 8. Okay, because because there's a 2.5 here, so I really don't like this 2.5. I would multiply both sides by 2. So when I multiplied both sides of the equation by 2, we will have 8x plus 5x plus 8 equals 2. I multiply this out. 2 times x squared plus 8x. So I make some rearrangement. So this is what? This is 5x plus 40. And then this is 5x plus 40. This is 2x squared plus 16x. Okay. So further, we could rearrange this equation. So we try to move everything here to the right side. We have 2x plus 16 minus 8 is 8, 16, and then 8x and 5x is 13x. So 16x minus 13x is 3x. And then minus 40 equals 0. And then this is a quadratic equation. So we are able to apply the quadratic formula for this equation. So let us review the quadratic formula. So suppose you have a quadratic formula like this: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. No, it's too bad. Okay, and then x could be, the denominator is 2a minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4AC. So you have to memorize this the solution of quadratic formula because this is so simple, and then you have to memorize it. So we could apply the quadratic formula to this equation, which is this is 4, 2 times 2 equals 4 minus 3 positive plus minus square root of 3 squared is 9 minus 4 times 8 is 2 and times minus 40. Okay, so it turns out it is 4 minus 3 plus minus what? 9 plus, because minus minus becomes plus, so 320. It's 4 times 2 times 40 is 320. It becomes 4. This is minus 3 plus minus 329. Okay. So, however, so this is the speed because we assume this variable is the speed of this woman runs x miles per hour. However, if this is minus, so but for quadratic equation, you have two solutions, right? For this quadratic equation, you have two answers, and one of answer, this is minus 3 minus square root of 329 over 4. Ah, this is so weird today. So, because one of these answer is a negative value, and the speed, the definition of speed is always positive. So this answer is invalid. That's so weird. I don't know why it is like this today. It is invalid. Let me reset my touch pen. So the answer is, denominator is 4. This is minus 3 plus square root of 329. So, and this is the unit is mile per hour. Okay, so this is the answer. And if you have calculators, you could solve this square root of 329, although I know in the entrance exam you are not allowed to bring a calculator. So that's just assume you have one here. So the value is approximate 3.78 mile per hour. Ah, what happened? Okay, so any questions regarding this one? Okay, please make sure you know everything. And if you still have doubts, please go back to our slides and to review it. Okay, so we are going to talk about the next problem. Okay, the next problem is to do the job. Abby pants twice as fast as Beth and 3 times as fast as Kathy. If it takes them 60 minutes to paint a living room with all 3 working together, how long would it take Abby if she worked alone? So from the problem statement, it asks us a question. How long will it take Abby if she worked alone? So we just assume the variable as what the problem asks us. So Abby, we assume Abby, she takes X minute to paint the whole living room alone. Okay, and since the problem says Abby paints twice as fast as Beth. So for Beth, if Beth is working alone, so she will take 2 times X minute to paint the whole living room, right? Because Abby is faster, it paints twice as fast as Beth. And for Kathy, since Abby paints 3 times as fast as Kathy, so Kathy would take 3x minutes alone to paint the whole living room. So if it takes them 60 minutes to paint the living room with all 3 working together, so we know. So for each minute, if they take them 60 minutes, so for each minute, for 1 minute, they paint 1/60 portion of living room, right? Within 1 minute, they just finish 1/60 of them. So if they work for 60 minutes, it's just 1/60 times 60 is 1. This is the whole living room if they finish the job. So within 1 minute, all 3 of them complete 1/60 of living room. So, but within 1 minute, what do they complete? Each of them. So if Abby takes X minutes alone to finish the whole living room, then within 1 minute, in 1 minute, Abby completes 1/6 portion of living room, just 1/6 of the living room. Okay, so and for Beth, within 1 minute, it will be 1/2x of the living room. And for Kathy, within exactly 1 minute, she completes 1/3 3x of the living room. So we know in the problem statement, it says these three are working together and then they complete the living room within 60 minutes, which means within 1 minute. What they did, each of them within 1 minute. So within 1 minute, Abby complete 1 over x. And Beth completes 1 over 2x. Plus Kathy completes 1 over 3x. It will be equal to 1 over 60. So they within 1 minute, and because they are working together, and for 1 minute, each of them completes this portion, this portion, this portion, and their summation will be 1 over 60. Okay, so the problem becomes how to solve this equation. To solve this equation, we could multiply the both sides of the equation by 6x. So if we multiply both sides of the equation by 6x, we have 6 plus 3 plus 2 equals 6x, right? 6x over 60. So we could erase 6, this becomes 10. It's 10 is x over 10. Oh, it's weird. It's x over 10, and then 6 plus 3 plus 2 is 11. So we have 11 equals wait. We have 11 equals x over 10. So x equals 11 times 10, which is 110 minutes. Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know why it is. So it takes 110 minutes for Abby if she worked alone, and for Beth just 100. For Beth just 100. It takes just 110 times 2 is 220 minutes if Beth is working alone to paint the living room. And the same thing, Kathy just takes 330 minutes to finish the living room. Okay, so any questions regarding this one? Okay, if you have no questions, let's look at the next question, the next problem. All right, and so please write this down. Okay, let's look at this question. It's about inequalities. So this problem asks you to solve the inequality, express the solution using interval notation, and graph the solution set on the real number line. For this kind of problem, first, we need to draw a line. And when x equals to 4, it is 0. So we on this line, we mark this 4, and this value satisfies the inequality, right? So it's a solid dot. It's a solid dot. And when x squared is 4, 4 minus the denominator will be 0. And as we know, when the denominator is 0, this is undefined. So we need to mark these points on the line. So x squared equals to 4. X should be either 2 or minus 2. So 2 here is 2. This is minus 2. But since at these 2 points, this problem is undefined, we use a circle. It means the value is not included in our solution. So we use a circle means 2 and minus 2 are not included. Okay. And the easiest way is we make a table. And this is value of x. And then we, for example, we want to determine at this segment, the value is positive or not, or negative. So the easiest way is we pick any number from the segment, for example, 5. So x equals to 5. When x equals to 5, this whole equation becomes 5 minus 4. This is 5 squared minus 4, which is 1. This is 21, larger than 0. Okay, so since it's larger than 0, we say this is plus. And so we pick anything between 2 and 4. Suppose we pick x equals 3. So when x equals 3, we plug into the equation. This is 9 minus 4. This is minus 1. This is 5. This is more than 0. So this is negative. And then we pick any number from minus 2 to 2. We pick 0. So we pick 0. It becomes minus 4, minus 4, and it's larger than 0. This is positive. This is positive. And then we could plug in minus 3, and minus 3, minus 4, 9 minus 4 is minus 7 divided by 5 is smaller than 0. So this is negative. So to satisfy the inequality, this whole term, this whole equation needs to be less or equal to 0, which means this is here, this segment and this segment. And also these segments. Okay, and because it asks us to express the solution using interval notations. So this is the graph, and if we want to use interval notation to represent the solution x, so x equals, we can say is from negative infinity to minus 2, and use a parenthesis in union. In union is a symbol of U, capital U. In union with 2 to 4. And then we put a bracket. Put a bracket here. And the bracket means the solution, this point is included in the solution. The point included. Okay, so this is our solution. So in this kind of inequality problems is kind of simple. You just need to define values for when the numerator is 0. So define values of x when the numerator is 0. And you also defines the values when the denominator is 0. Denominator is 0 is x squared minus 4 is 0. And then you locate, you just draw these points on the line. You draw these points on the line, and then you could determine the sign of each segment by inserting any points on that within that segment, and then you are able to find out the result. So this is how it works. Okay, so any questions regarding this one? If you have questions, and then in the end of class, you can ask either I or TA. So any questions? If no questions, we move on. Okay. So solve the equality, and then it has an absolute sign or as absolute symbol. So when this absolute symbol is presented, you have two cases. First is x minus 5. If x minus 5 larger or equal to 0, let me see. So x minus 5 larger or equal to 0, it means x is larger or equal to 5. So this is our first case. First case, because the actual value within this absolute operator, we call it absolute operator, could be positive or negative. So first, we assume what inside this absolute operator is positive. And then we could, if this is positive, and then we could get rid of this absolute operator directly. So it becomes x minus 5 less or equal to 3. And we have x is less or equal to 8. So combine these two, because this is the condition, x is larger or equal to 5 is the condition for this solution. So we have, which means we have x is larger or equal to 5 and less or equal to 8. So this is our first solution under this condition. Okay, and second, we assume what inside this absolute operator is negative. So we have x minus 5 is less or smaller than 0, which means x is less or equal to 5. And in this case, because what inside the absolute operator is negative, and we put the absolute value, we have an absolute value here. So actually, if it is in this case, we need to put a minus sign to x minus 5 to remove the absolute operator. Okay, so we put it because this The thing inside the absolute operator is a negative value, so we put a minus sign. So less or equal to 3. Okay, so this is the condition, and this is the equation that it generates. So to do this, I would multiply the both sides of inequality by -1. So if we multiply -1 here, it becomes x minus 5. And so 3 multiplied by -1, it becomes -3. And when we multiply the both sides of the inequality by a minus value, we need to change the direction of this inequality. So we have x minus 5 larger or equal to -3, and it is x is larger or equal to 2. So combine these two, we have x is larger or equal to 2 and less and equal to 5. So this is our second solution. So combine these two, we have, so combine one and 2, 1 and 2, combine 1 and 2, we have x is larger or equal to 2 and less and equal to 8. Okay, so by the interval notation, it can be written as x equals, because the points 2 and 8 are included in the solution. So we use the bracket 2, 8. Okay, and graph the solution, you just draw a line and you mark 2, mark 8, because these 2 points are included, so it's a solid circle. And then the segment between 2 and 8, this is the solution. So any questions? Okay, if you have no more questions, let's look at the next problem. So let's look at this problem. Find an equation of the circle that has a center -5, -1, and pass through the origin. So this one is an easy one, right? So you just need to draw a two-dimensional plane, x and y. This is y. And then we mark the center -5, -1 is approximately here. This is -5, -1, and passes through the origin. So it is something like this. And you can find the radius. This is 0, 0. So the equation for a circle is x, because this is -5, so it becomes +5 squared plus x plus 1 squared equals r squared. R squared is the distance. So the distance between 0, 0 and 5, 1 minus 5 minus 1 is square root of this 0 minus -5 square plus 0 minus 0, 1 square, which is square root of 25 plus, so this is r. 25 plus 1 is square root of 26. Okay, so since this is r squared, so this is 26. All right, so this one is an easy one. So any problems with this one? Okay, so let's look at the next question. Circles complete the square to determine whether the equation represents a circle or a point or has no graph. This is problem A. Problem B, if the equation is that of a circle, find its center and radius and sketch its graph. So we are looking at problem 103 first. And so we need to make a square. So first we focus on x. So we have x squared plus 2x. We want to make this a square, but we leave this as a blank, plus y squared minus 6y. We leave here as a blank, plus 9. And we leave this blank equals 0. So we rewrite the equation to this form. So to make the first term a square, we need to put 1, right? Yeah, we need to put 1. And then to make this second term as a square, we need to put 9. And 9 is we have so since we put 1 into this and we put 9 into here, and then you need to minus 10. Okay, so it becomes x plus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 1. So this is the circle. So this is a circle. This is the equation of the circle. And then you are able to draw it on the graph. Okay. So any problem with this one? Okay, you should have no problems. And then we look at the problem 105. For 105, we're doing the same thing. We have this x squared minus 12x, and then we leave it blank. We leave this blank. With this blank plus y squared plus 72, and we leave blank equals 0. So so in order to make the first term a square, we need to put plus 6 squared, right? 6 squared is 36, right? And which means we need to minus 36 here because we add 36 on this blank, and so we need to minus 36 here. So we have x minus 6 squared plus y squared plus 66. 36 equals 0. And then we could move 36 to the another side of the equation, which is equals to minus 36. And since x minus 6 squared is a positive number, y squared would also be a positive number, and it's impossible. The summation of them is negative. So this is invalid. So hence this is no graph. Right. So any questions regarding this? Okay. If no questions, let's look at the next problem. Okay. The next problem is about symmetry and intercepts. The problem A tests the equation for symmetry with respect to the x-axis, the y-axis, and the origin. Problem B, find the x and y intercepts of the graph of the equation. Okay, so to remind you, if we replace x in the equation with minus x, it means this the graph of this equation is symmetric about y-axis. And then if we replace with y with minus y, and the equation is unchanged, it means it is symmetric about x-axis. And we replace so when we replace x with minus x and y with minus y, we replace these two and we figure out the equation is unchanged. So it's symmetric about the origin. Okay, and so if we look at this equation, well, you could try you replace x with minus x, replace y with minus y, but for an equation, because of this x times y, so I know that it is this. So we replace x with minus x plus 4 minus x minus y plus minus y squared equal to 1. So it becomes x squared plus 4xy plus y squared equals y. It is unchanged. So if the equation is unchanged by replacing x with minus x, y with minus y, it means this is symmetric about the origin. Or you can say symmetric with respect to the origin. Okay, so this is the answer for problem A. And for problem B, you need to find the x-intercept find out the x-intercept is easy. You just need to assume y is 0 and solve x. So if y is 0 here, it means x squared equals 1. Yeah, this is a really weird. Okay, x squared equals 1. So x equals, yeah, it's jumping all the time. Positive and -1. Okay, and to find out y-intercept of this graph, yeah, it's okay, let's just restart it again. Okay, to find out y-intercept, it means, okay, to find out y-intercept, it means x equals 0. And so we have y squared. We have y squared into equals 1. Okay, and so y is positive and -1. Okay, so we have this x-intercept, which is +1, 0, and -1, 0. Okay, and we have y-intercept, which is 0 plus 1, and 0 minus 1. Okay, so this is the solution of problem B. So any questions about this symmetry and intercepts? Okay.